Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips tutorial brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Tutorials Group. And let's jump right in with today's poster. Wanted to get rid of this ray gun in this photo. So what we're going to do is use the clone tool, but we're also going to build a mask, which I just showed in a past video. And that's going to help rebuild the part of the knee that's missing to show how to create a proper shadow for this. So let's start by getting rid of as much of the ray gun as we can before we get close to the knee. So let's go ahead and create a new layer. So we'll click on our current layer and hit this little box to create a new empty layer. Then we grab the stamp tool, come back to the original layer, and let's go ahead and find a place to stamp to copy. This is too small. See how tiny this is? That's a 50 point. So let's actually make this like 300 points. See how big that is. See that big circle? That's how big we want it to be. So I'm going to hold the Alt down and choose a point right around here. And I'll come right back down here to cover it. But I need to click over here on the empty layer because I want to be able to change the color of my stamp in case the carpet looks too dark or too light. I'll come over like this and see it's getting rid of a lot of it, but I'm starting to see the edge of the child here. So I don't want to keep that. I can take the eraser and erase some of that with a 100 point, some of that stamp, and that looks good. Now what we want to do, because the stamps aren't always going to be the right colors, and you can tell that this stamp you see right there is a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is grab that stamp, go to Enhance Lighting and Brightness, and watch what happens as I change the brightness. I can go darker, I can go lighter, but I just want to do is hover over here until it kind of blends right in naturally with what's already there. I'm going to do it again a little bit closer over here. I can create an empty layer, come back to the original, click on the stamp tool. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller this time, like, I don't know, like 200 point, and then start the stamp right here. It's going to come across to copy all of this, but I'll start it right here to kind of take away some of the shadow. And then we can do it again up here. No, we can't because it's starting to grab right here. So I'm going to grab the stamp one more time right here on what we just finished stamping, and you can see I'm getting rid of almost everything there. And now all we have to do is fix the knee over here. So what we can do is create a mask by copying a portion of the knee, but we're just going to cheat a little bit here, and we'll come over here like this and create our own edge of the knee. And then we can bring it all the way over here to the edge of the bag. I'm going to come over here, double click, and now I can right click. Actually, we want to make sure that we're choosing the right layer. Right click and hit copy. Now we just made us a portion here, which is our forward mask. I can come back down to the original, make an empty layer that we're going to use to clone stamp this last area here. So I'm going to hold the Alt, pick the area that I want to clone from, and then just clone all the way across. And see, it goes right underneath the bag, which is our little extra piece of the layer that we just created. And now there it is. It's all gone. You got the whole picture without the ray gun, except for one thing. There's no shadow. So now we want to do is create a shadow that matches this shadow and this shadow. But let's go ahead and marry these clone stamped pieces down to the original picture. So I'm going to right click and merge this one down. I'm going to bring this one below the knee and then right click and merge them down. So now we got two portions. One is a background and one is a foreground of the knee. Let's put an empty layer in between. This is going to be our shadow layer. Now we're going to grab a brush and pick pure black and then make it nice and big. I don't know, like let's say 200 point. And I'm just going to create a little piece of shadow there. Grab the smudge brush and let's do this like around 200 point. And I'm going to help create the stretch with a smudge brush. And I'm kind of trying to copy what it does there. It stretches out to about here like this. Now what I'm going to do is lessen this so that it matches the other ones. The color might not be perfectly right, but watch this. 0, and just bring it up just a tiny bit. Really, really subtle. And there it is. Now we're going to create one more empty layer and do the closer one. And this will be like with a 100 point. And this will be the immediate right below the knee. Look at this. That's looking really right on. And that one almost we can probably use at about 100%. Let's bring it down, bring it back up, watch what happens. And that's looking pretty good. I like that, right at about 90%. Well, there it is. We got the ray gun gun, and we got our nice shadow that looks realistic, following in lines with the other shadows. And that's all there is for this tutorial. This is Rich, calling it quits, saying over and out.